Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Slice and Dice. I am joined today by Jed of the Trap Chest and Litha the Bard. Paradigm Concepts has apparently forgotten us, so possibly we'll pop in later if this was a time zone issue. Otherwise, we will hope that all is well and that, they haven't been kidnapped by aliens. Um, Trying to think if there are any announcements I need to do before we start, but I don't think there are for the first time in a while. So we're going to start with introductions. Jed, why don't you begin?
I'm Jed Dirksen, the sole operator of Trap Chest. Been doing this since 2019. I have a number of games behind me, RPGs and board games. I got my start in RPGs way back in 3rd edition D&D, and prior to that, I knew I've always wanted to be a game designer since I played Super Mario, but realizing that programming is like watching paint dry, and I paint miniatures, so that's saying something. I switched into tabletop gaming, and now I am trying to make a go of it here. And yeah, so I will be talking about Reanimated and various things going around it.
And what is your favorite game other than your own?
Oh, that's got to be Savage Worlds. And we will get into how that has shaped my design theory much later, but yes, I like the Savage Worlds, the fast, furious, fun, very straightforward and simple to learn style of gameplay, and all the bonkers settings that they have. Those are just great.
Then there's always the argument about, well, is that a game or is it a setting?
Yes.
It's like the GURPS discussion, now it's a Savage Worlds discussion.
Yes.
All right, Litha.
I was muted because I had to.
Oh.
Yep. I'm Letha the Bard. I run Bardic Inspirations RPGs. I'm a professional dungeon master. I mostly run Dungeons and Dragons, but I've recently stretched away from that so that I can start making some indie content. So I've made some stuff for some of Jed's systems. Most of my stuff has to do with horror, but I do love a good comedic twist for a lot of my work.
I mean, can't go wrong there.
Yeah. But yeah, I got into RPGs with D&D 3.5. Other than that, it was video games. Huge Final Fantasy nerd. I have played pretty much all of them, Dragon Quest, which has definitely shaped sort of how I view gameplay. So I love it to be story-driven, right? So yeah, that's what I try and focus on, is making story-driven adventures for RPGs.
If you like comedic horror, have you seen Velocipaster?
I have not, no.
Shame.
I've heard of it, but here's the thing. My husband hates horror, and the only person that I know who loves horror doesn't like comedic horror. So I'm like, maybe I'll get my youngest to come sit down and watch it with me. He might enjoy that.
I have to say that it is only horror in the very thinnest of... by the very thinnest of threads.
Yeah, no, I get that. And believe me, I do love that, but I'll have to take a look for sure.
Yeah, I have to say I normally am kind of a horror purist, but Velocipaster was great and Cabin in the Woods was great in my
I loved Cabin in the Woods. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
My husband
absolutely.
even liked that one, Death by Unicorn. God, you can't get better than that.
What is your favorite game other than your own? And let me rephrase this, because you have spoken the name of that which shall not be named.
I know.
What is your favorite game other than yours and the evil one?
And the evil one that I'm trying to get away from. I've tried a few systems. I actually, funnily enough, really like Dragon Age because it was a lot less system heavy when I got to play it.
Interesting.
And I'm also checking out Dragonheart as well, or Daggerheart, just because that is 100% story driven. But I'm not sure how it plays yet. We'll see. But from all the ones that I've played, I'd have to probably say, oddly enough, Dragon Age.
Are you strictly a fantasy player?
I do play some Starfinder. I find um, rules heavy games to be a little tough at the beginning, especially when things are worded ambiguously. But I tend to be far more, yeah, I love my fantasy. Um, if you mix the magic with sci-fi, then I'll be okay with it. But if it's just pure sci-fi with no magic, then I'm like, but is that really science?
Well, I asked just because you said you really liked horror when in the games you were developing. So
Yeah,
have you?
I love like fantasy horror. Like it to me, horror and fantasy are sort of like together. It doesn't have to be high fantasy; it can be modern fantasy. Anything that would be outside the realm of normal, if
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we will talk about that more when we're talking about your game, because I'm kind of interested to hear your influences. Um, if you haven't seen it, the game that I reviewed yesterday with Simon, was called Bear, and it is they call it narrative. It is not, but it is quite story driven, and it's fairly simple.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
light crunch, you know, potato chip crunch, not pretzel crunch. All right. Let us say hello to the chat. Pastor, did you beat Legatus here, or are you just showing up first on my list? Welcome. Pastor is kind of new to the channel. Welcome. We are happy to have you and happy that you're hanging out with us. Legatus is one of our mods. Legatus lives in the computer and mods for everyone and is amazing. Eraser is here, and his greeting was to immediately post Jed's Jed's game
Awesome.
link. Um,
That's good.
I am.
Eraser is the Lord of the Links.
Yes. Awesome.
Uh, Legatus says, comedic. Are you a big fan of jesters and kenders?
I mean, yes, I have to be. I love playing jesters too.
I don't think
That's
I
why I
ever.
love bards and anything. I'm like, can I be a jester and just make fun of everything?
I have to say, I think bards have gotten kind of a bad rap these days.
Yeah,
Uh,
they have.
because, I mean, there are so many ways you could take being a bard that is better than just, I have a lute and I seduce everything. Eraser says Velocipaster is peak cinema.
All right. Well, I'll have to. I'll have to. The Lord of the Links has spoken, so I guess I will have to watch.
Last time I knew it was free on Tubi.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Nice.
Hanayama-san is here. I this person is speaking as if they were expected. But I don't recognize the name. So either someone is signing in under another name or we have a new person. In which case, welcome. I love new people. Lo, I'm just going to call you Lo because I am not totally certain how I would run that together. And I am sure that we are going to have people who sprinkle in over the next 15 or 20 minutes. So I will greet you as you come in. We actually have to have some lurkers too, but so if you are lurking, welcome, and we're happy to have you here, even if you are lurking. Lo says that works. Excellent. Good. Okay, so let's start talking some zombies. If Second Bite pops in later, we will add them in, but in the meantime, that gives you plenty of time to talk about your own stuff. So let us start with Jed, and let me pop you up here so everybody can see your smiling face.
All right.
And the books, more
All right. So,
importantly.
yes. So, obviously, the first one, Reanimated. It's a rules light system. It is a 2d8 based system. Borrows a lot of things that you would expect from things like Dungeons and Dragons. Add your stats to the rolls and that your simple initiative type things. as much as I don't like some of those rules, that you kind of do need them to bring new people into the hobby. And the reason I made this is actually the second game using the key-powered system. Which the first one was called the Nullum Project. It was released in 2023. It was my Star Trek-inspired game. But with Reanimated, I looked at the market for zombie games and realized that All Flesh Must Be Eaten is the considered the definitive zombie game, and it came out in 1999. And if anybody who's read it, it has the formatting and graphic design of a game that came out in the 90s, which I find really difficult to read. It's also 260 pages, and I have managed to do everything in that and condense it down to 20 pages. So this game, it is very much a sandbox game, which surprisingly there are very few of those. It takes a lot of inspiration from old zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, stuff like that, and some of the more modern ones like 28 Days Later, which just gives you those sprinter zombie nightmare fuel things. It also takes a lot of inspiration from video games like Left 4 Dead and 7 Days to Die, which I put hundreds of hours into. So anyone who's a fan of 7 Days to Die or Left 4 Dead, you're going to find a lot of these zombie archetypes in here, like the boomer and the roper and all those things. And the game basically it gives you all the tools you need to build any kind of zombie game you want. And middle of last year, I released a supplement, Join Their Ranks, which, as far as I can tell, is the first time somebody has released a supplement for a zombie game that allows you to actually play as the zombies. This one adds in a Helldivers-inspired respawn mechanic, so you are actually encouraged to treat your zombies as cannon fodder. And this is one of the few games where you can actually win at D&D. And something that is releasing on May 1st, this just showed up today. The Curse of Neferkhetet is the first adventure that I am publishing for Reanimated. It takes place in New York City, 1925. Somebody has disrupted a mummy exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and now there's a mummy running around trying to take over the world. So very Paul Brendan Fraser, the Mummy style. Every time that I've run one-shots for Reanimated at conventions, I have been actively avoiding the Walking Dead modern things. So I've been doing the Mummy, I do stuff like the Old West. I did one for Join Their Ranks, which took place in the Age of Sail, where all the zombies woke up on a prison ship just a few miles from port, and oh, those poor 17th century villagers.
I do feel I need to defend All Flesh Must Be Eaten a little bit and say that they did in fact let you play as zombies.
Did they? It's probably in there in that 260 pages somewhere.
Well, that's why it's 260 pages. Is they tried. There are like zombie animals you can play as the zombies. You can play as people
Yes.
turning into zombies. You can play as people
Yeah.
escaping zombies. Can you hold the adventure back up again?
Yes.
I love your cover designs.
Yeah. It's I am not an illustrator. I am a graphic designer by trade, but occasionally I can do something that looks somewhat good, and then sometimes they just look. This was supposed to be a street full of zombies, and I got finished doing this guy and just said, "Oh my god, I'm done."
We're gonna do the Rings of Power thing and just copy them over and over and over again.
The thing is, I would notice. Most people wouldn't, but I would notice.
I mean, if they were all next to each other, I don't know how they wouldn't notice, but.
So in this one, if people look closely, yes, I've copy and pasted a bunch of those buildings.
That's fine. That's background. That doesn't count.
Yeah, it's yeah.
All right. So you said that just came in. Is it available for purchase? Is it?
So the official release date is May 1st. The first place it'll be available will be Winnipeg RPG Con, and then it'll be going out to Compose Dream Games, which they will be there, so I'm going to pass a couple off to them, and it should be available sometime in May.
Okay. I assume that most of my chat do not live right next to the convention, so.
Probably not, but Compose Dream Game does ship to Canada, or they do ship to the US, so If people want to buy it, that will be an option. It just might be a few weeks before it actually shows up.
Hmm.
And I will be doing posts on social media when that happens as well.
And it gets coded as a book, right? So we don't have to deal with the whole foolish.
I It does, and for people who are unaware, our post office, Canada Post, has set up rules that we have to pay all the tariff stuff before it ever crosses the border, so you will not have any surprises coming from Canada.
Really interesting.
Yes,
Uh,
it's
I was looking at having a friend send me some stuff from the UK that I could not get here. Um, and it was really interesting because it was like if it got coded as a book, it was like $12 or something. And if it got coded wrong, it was like 50. So
yes, books are zero sum for the tariffs and all that, but yeah, if it's coded as a game, then oh boy, they'll hit you.
yeah. Well, that's why board games got into so much trouble, yeah.
Yes.
The game that I reviewed yesterday, there were jokes being made about the artwork getting turned into posters as stretch goals. Except the issue is that as long as it's a book, there's no tariffs on it. But as soon as you stick a poster in that package, now it's not just a book, and now
I
the whole package is subject to tariffs.
So what you need to do is put your posters in a folio and say it is an unbound book.
Ooh, that was a good idea. I wish I'd thought of that one
That's
when they were talking
so
about
that
it.
is yeah, as long as they put some paper around the outside and says this is a book, as long as it's yeah, just it is an unbound book.
That's clever. Um, what other things should we know? Has it been?
Uh
I assume you've play tested it. Do you have any really good like playtest stories of when it was in
I
progress?
have I have done a ton of one shots at conventions. It's been very well received. A lot of reviewers have liked it. Uh, but this did not receive even a single playtest. I know this is going to annoy a lot of people, but it's using the same system as my previous game, so it didn't need it, and it's really hard to find playtesters.
Really?
But yeah,
Huh.
a lot of people they want to play the game that they've heard of. So dragging people into playing something different, like my upcoming game, Quest Nexus, is my universal system that I'll be releasing hopefully next year. That one's been getting a ton of playtesting at conventions, but it's also like a 300 plus page book, so it needs it more than the 20-page book.
Well, yes. Um,
But
my in real life game group and I very frequently do playtests for companies. Um, because we've all been playing for
yeah,
like more than 30 years and we've covered a huge variety of
yes.
genres. So it's we kind of have the and we have very different play styles. So
Oh, yes.
we can kind of test things from all angles.
Yeah, in my playtesting, I found it's not so much about like mechanical balance. It's more somebody will read through the book and go like, "I just don't understand," and that's where you need to start changing things.
Hmm. Um, shoot, I had another question. I've lost what it
Ah,
was.
couldn't have been that important, I
Uh,
guess.
I mean, or my brain is just that melty. I'm totally
It is
willing
Monday.
totally willing to say that that might be it.
Yeah.
Chat, do you have any other questions while I'm trying to think? Oh, I was going to ask if you had any really good stories that came out of playtesting the conventions.
Oh boy. So one of the best sessions I had, I was so the adventure took place in South Carolina in 1955, and it was your basic Dawn of the Dead. It's the zombie apocalypse has just started, and we have to get to the boat, and there's an island off the coast, and we can go there, and the zombies won't be able to find us. And I had a little kid who was playing. He may maybe be 10, 11 years old, and so we had forgot to mention the game features a very sadistic infection system. So if you take damage from a zombie, there is a 50-50 chance you're infected. And towards the end of the adventure, this kid got bashed by a zombie, and I rolled some dice behind the screen, and I passed him a note. And he had a terrible poker face. Everybody knew he was infected, but he was denying it. And eventually he did turn as they were on the boat, so they just tied him up. And it had led into the end of the how I usually do my adventures, where there is no happy ending. As so we ended the adventure. It's you guys are all on the island. You're in a little cabin there, and you think you're safe. And then the camera pulls out and swings around to the shore, and you start seeing heads pop out of the water and march onto the beach, and this kid is leading the pack of zombies to your safe spot.
I'm sure it made the kid happy, despite the fact that he ended up
Oh,
becoming a zombie.
he absolutely loved it. But I tend to put a lot of the special zombies in here, so like halfway through the adventure, they were trying to clear out a grocery store and they heard bellowing off in the distance. And one guy had been trying to hotwire a pickup truck, and he looks up and there's this massive zombie. I just describe it as imagine the Incredible Hulk as a zombie, and that was enough. They got in the truck and started booking it as the zombie is racing down the street, bashing cars, throwing them into buildings, chasing them. Fortunately, they found the guy who owns the gun shop was also a crazy redneck and a World War II veteran, so he had an elephant rifle ready on the roof, and he took that thing out. But I found it quite fun when I start the adventure off with your standard slow Romero zombies, and as soon as you introduce one of the special zombies, everybody at the table is just like, "Oh, okay, we're not messing around anymore."
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there was a reason that the introduction of fast zombies kind of changed the zombie movies.
it's the one thing that everybody picks up on is you round the corner and you see a zombified little girl. She stands there and she stares at you, and everybody goes into panic mode because they all know what that is.
It's all I can think of is oh, what was the movie? The comedy movie with it has the rules for the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, Zombieland.
Yeah, there we go. Had a brain
So
fuzz there for a
what?
minute. See, I told you my
So
brain
this
is
one,
building.
so this one, it's taken from Left 4 Dead, and 7 Days to Die does it as well. It's called The Witch, and she doesn't attack you. What she does is she lets out this blood curdling scream that alerts everything that you're there.
Oh, okay. So like, have you played Tainted Grail, the video
I
game?
have seen it. I haven't got around to playing that one yet.
There are these little tiny round orange things on legs, and
Okay.
they their only role is that they run up to you and then they explode and they die, but they attract everything from like a
Oh yes.
ridiculously far radius.
Oh
Um,
yes.
and they all just come swarming in. It's terrible. The first, yeah, especially if you're not expecting
uh,
it, like the first time you encounter one,
oh yeah.
you're like, wait a minute, where did all these zombies come from?
Yep. Yep.
So yes, I think that the little girl thing would probably work especially well the first time.
Oh yes. Everybody kind of understands. Like it's not attacking us. There's got to be something going wrong here.
Pardon me, I'm just checking with the chat, see if they have questions. Oh, here we go.
That's a good one.
Do bananas, marbles, Legos, and tacks slow them down? Or only if they are running zombies?
Oh boy. Well, I don't think they're going to care about Legos and tacks, but bananas and marbles, that's. Gonna make a note of this. Yeah. That will be
I mean,
going into a future.
tacks
I
might throw them off balance if they don't, have the capability to.
like
I
if
assume
you're
it would.
hiding somewhere with tile floors, then I suppose you'd hear tick 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 as they're wandering down the floor.
Oh, that too, yeah.
So that could potentially be good. The Legos is I I guess if I let the zombies talk, there would be a bit of swearing.
I I've always sort of wondered how zombies have such good balance considering that they have no brains left.
Um,
You'd think they'd fall down a lot. Like stairs. There used to be like movies where they had a hard
yeah,
time figuring out stairs.
yeah, stairs or ladders or stuff like that. Yeah, that would make sense. You think about balance though, like you don't really have to think about walking, you just kind of do it.
Well, but that's because we have brains. And because I mean, because little kids do have to think about walking.
I suppose like it's equilibrium. I say like the Resident Evil movie actually discussed that they have like the most basic of instincts, so they understand how to balance, they understand how to feed, but they don't really have much beyond that.
Hmm. I suppose too, it's probably depends on your type of zombie. Like the rage zombies
Yeah,
are basically like their brains are still intact.
yeah, like they're technically not zombies. That is also the most realistic of the zombie movies. Horrible and terrifying, but very realistic.
I mean, I'm a real big fan of the zombie ants.
Ew. If you
I
want
mean,
some real nightmare fuel, yeah, if you want some real nightmare fuel,
theoretically,
in
yeah, theoretically, it would not necessarily be too hard for that fungus to start affecting people instead.
yeah, but like if you think about it, like during a zombie apocalypse, the zombies are not actually the thing you have to worry about. It's going to be the mosquitoes.
Hmm. Depending on how quickly or seriously the virus spreads. Yeah, that would, or
If
ticks.
it's like
Ticks.
28 days later, where it's like literally 10 seconds and you turn into a zombie.
Yeah, I guess it would probably depend too. I mean, there are areas like, large cities tend to have so much smog and everything else that they don't tend to have
Yeah.
the black fly problem that we do in rural areas.
Oh yes, they every now and then.
How intelligent are your zombies? Do they know how to open a latch, turn a knob, climb a rope ladder, or are they very mindless, bashing doors and windows?
So that is part of how you build your zombies. So the book has a section where you pick and choose things that your zombies can do, and one of them is intelligence. So you
I
can
just want to
have
ask.
your.
I
Hmm?
just want to ask. This is your supplement where you play the zombie,
No, this is the
or
core book. Like, there's
okay,
a chapter in here which is about building the zombies. It's in the GM section, so this is how you get
okay,
your
got it,
fast zombies and your. But you
got
have
it.
things like, yeah, intelligence. You can have your mindless as your classic Shambler. Basic, they do simple things like opening doors, climbing ladders, learning zombies. They can learn from their mistakes, and then you have the smart zombies, which are like on human level intelligence. So they may do like the T-800 thing and try to sneak their way into your base instead of charging in. And then there
Hmm.
are extra things you can do like extra intelligence options, command, which is one that Letha had fun with in one of her one shots with Zombies of the Corn, which you have a zombie that can just telepathically command a horde of zombies, which you make them human level intelligent. That becomes really scary.
I can attest. It's a great story that I'll tell you later.
I mean, technically, we could do this, and you could.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so in my adventure, I have a variety of zombies all built with that great system there. But yeah, so one of my players was running it. He right from the get go, they're trying to escape from the city, and he got bit and started turning into a zombie, and they threw him off the back of the truck before they even left to the main part of the adventure. And this is someone who plays in every single game that I run whenever he can. And so I was just like, okay, so you can make a zombie, or I handed him the adventure book, the module, and I was just like, do you want to be this, the commander leading the army that's later going to attack the entire party, the entire group? And he did amazing. Honestly, he wrecked them. He came up with ideas I wouldn't have thought of, and he was sliding me notes at the table of what he would like to do next.
Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Our missing individual has just messaged me.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
I can answer the question. Commanders, yeah, kind of. Except they can actually give commands. So they can tell them where to go.
Yeah. I think the closer comparison would be think Pikmin.
Yeah, it pretty much. And there's some digging ones, so they popped up from the ground, scared the crap out of them,
Yes.
and destroyed the group that was fighting
Yeah.
with themselves more than the zombies.
So we were discussing earlier comedy, horror, and terrible puns. So there you go.
Yeah. And I will mention, if people want to follow along, if you go to my itch.io page, I do have a rule for my company that anything with rules in it is the PDF is completely free. So on itch, you don't have to log in to even download it. So anyone who wanted to load that up on their second monitor and dig through the rules while we're talking, that is an option.
Oh, sweet. Free games, people.
Yes, this is how you get people playing games. And
Oh,
for other developers, it does have an open license, so I am promoting people to make stuff for it.
Sweet. And Eraser is
Yep, there it is.
Lord of the Links.
Yep.
He had that up so fast.
Yeah.
He literally has put links up just as I started to say, "Hey, could you put a link up for me?"
Yep.
Hello, the missing is here.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I am so sorry. I had a horrendous migraine today, and those things knocked me out. I came back early from work. I crashed. I woke up and I was like, "Oh my god, it's 7!" And I charged down to my little office. So I
That's
really
quite all right.
apologize.
That is quite all right. I honestly thought maybe there was like a time zone thing and you were going to show up, 5 minutes before we got done because I'd done something wrong with the time zones or something. So
Fair enough.
Pedro, do you want to give us a little quick intro? And then actually, I'm going to move the screen around here a little bit. There we go. And then Litha is going to tell us about Zombies of the Corn.
Oh, well, I'm Pedro Bernachea, lead rules designer for Paradigm Concepts, and I am the lead writer for the second edition of Rotted Capes, which is a superhero zombie mashup where you play the B-lister sidekicks. You don't play all the major superheroes are either dead, missing, or they got Z'd. The entire pitch of the game is you're not powerful enough to save the world, but you might be powerful enough to save what's left.
Nice. What is your favorite game other than your own?
Oh, you're going to make me pick a favorite. The one game that's the nearest to my heart, because me and my best friend used to play it before she passed, 7C.
Nice. I think
Yep.
I think you might actually be the first person to ever do that one. Even though once
Yes,
you mentioned
that
it,
was
even though once you mentioned it, everybody goes, "Oh yeah!"
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Yeah. It's one of those games.
Yeah.
All
Yep,
right.
yeah.
Litha, why don't you go into your full spiel? We had the nice transition there with the story, but
Yeah. So this is Zombies of the Corn. It's flipped backwards. Awesome. But yeah, so I say it's the corniest zombie adventure you're ever going to play. My players do in fact groan more than the zombies. I've made everything I possibly can into a pun. That includes that includes the different parts. I literally called the family that's in this Alabaster, so I could call part 2 Sweet Home Alabaster. So the adventure itself starts off very, very typical. And it's one of those where it can be put in at any timeline at the start, in the middle. You can throw it wherever. But you're in a city, undisclosed city, and you need supplies. Whatever the supplies are, up to the GM, up to the players, doesn't matter. But you need to get there. However, as you're getting there, you hear gunfire and a very southern redneck man screaming out about how they're trying to take his Susie, which is his truck, by the way, fighting off the zombies. So, you can either help save him, or you can just let him die and be like, sweet, we got a truck and some ammo and guns, However, regardless, whatever they choose, they're getting attacked by zombies that are in the target location. So whether it was a pharmacy, a store, whatever they were trying to get, it's filled with zombies. They're going to have to take that truck and they're going to have to leave. It will lead them to the Alabaster Farm. Very idyllic, very peaceful, kind of like a nice reprieve from all the death and mayhem until you get there and you hear zombies, except they're not saying brains. Because this is going to be a spoiler alert. These are vegan zombies. And they eat grains. So
awesome.
so they hear the moaning of grains instead of brains. If they say Pop Pop, they learn that he's actually has some severe dementia. He doesn't realize that the zombie apocalypse has happened, and thinks that the commies are taking over, and
Paranoia.
yeah, paranoia, straight up. And so when they get there, his whole family is zombies. His son, his hippie wife who ruined the farm. It used to be a hog farm, but now it's a vegan farm, and he hates it. And their insane amount of children.
Corn hub.
A corn hub, yep. Yes, instead of brains, they eat grains and corn. And in fact, the whole family. I drew. Jed did the beautiful cover art. I did the family. So this is mom and this is the parent zombies. But there are stat blocks for each zombie in here because you can make them your friend. I do all my own artwork and make my own maps as well. So we have teenagers. They like to hide from their chores. They have the special stat from the core rulebook called Lurker that makes them better at hiding. They also like to eat pumpkin because teenagers love pumpkin spice. So if you give them pumpkins, they'll be more friendly to you. The children have sticky fingers and climbers, so they are literally climbing all over the walls, and they'll eat anything sweet. Mom and dad obviously like brains, but the most important one is actually the baby. Yeah, the baby zombie there. The baby zombie just screams the whole time, and when I ran it, person playing the junkie wanted to kill the baby. But it's a screamer, which means it alerts all zombies to what's happening.
So it's like it's a comedic version of the witch that we were talking
Yeah,
about.
it's a comedic version of the witch. And it's just an annoying baby. But yeah, the junkie tried to kill it. And so obviously it started screaming, and then the whole family starts going towards there, which made the group very much so at odds. Because it's like, it's a zombie, we can kill it. It's like, no, the zombies aren't doing anything. They're literally just farming the whole time.
Legatus would like to know if the puns get ranked.
These are father level groaners, usually. Especially when you get to be in character with Pop Pop. This group actually let Pop Pop die, so they had to figure out things by themselves. Yeah, it's a zombie. But yeah, so they all have stat blocks, and it's really just about having a good time, being silly with them. Here's a map of the entire farm. I actually did research to see like what color is soy flowers. But it's completely off the grid. It's one of those uber hippie farms that's got solar power, but no indoor plumbing. They grow their own resources. They have a well, perfect place to hide out. The only problem is that you guys made a lot of noise when you escaped the city. Meaning, you guys are going to have to go fight in the cornfields. Fight off 3 waves of zombies. Finishing off with the commander, which is what that player did. The commander, his special move is that he summons digging zombies, so they dig underground, to pop up. And so he commanded them to pop up. Instead of pop up next to the players, he had them dig holes into the road that they were trying to escape the farm at. They were like, we're getting in the truck. Half the group jumped in the truck and they were going to drive off, leave the rest to die. But he's just like, I would like to have my digging zombies instead of attack them. I want them to dig holes to pop the tire and trap them there. And I was like, oh my God, that's evil. I love it. Yes, we're doing that. But yeah, so it only runs about 3 hours maximum, depending on how much role playing your players like to do. Because, like I said, I love doing story driven stuff, role playing driven stuff. So it's really about letting the players explore. No, there's actually no grid lines on this one.
He's punning. It's just been a steady stream of puns.
I know. But if you want grid lines, I do have those.
Hamsta has never been more excited about a game that has been presented on this show.
Yeah.
I just want you to
know what?
By the way, I think somebody just named your third adventure Corn to be Wild.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's your sequel.
Yeah, I think that might have to be a sequel for sure. But if you want to see total roadblock traffic, it's right here. There you go. Don't worry. I'll pawn it up. I'm a mom. Let's go. But yeah, so it really is just about letting the players have fun, introduce them into the system specifically, by keeping it both incredibly difficult to fight in the combats because it is a brutal system when it comes to combat, and I tend to be a brutal GM when it comes to combat. But yeah, it's just about being silly and having a good time, and obviously puns, just a lot of puns. Yes, I love that. Yeah, I wanted to call this, Children of the Corn because of all the kids in the cornfield, but I don't want to get sued because that is in fact trademarked in perpetuity.
And he is a cranky old man these days.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I went with Zombies of the Corn instead. But yeah, so like I said, it finishes off with the combat. No one's survived the combat so far at the end because they were divisive. You really have to work together in order to win. So it promotes teamwork in a world that very stereotypically that you see in pretty much every zombie movie and show. People are fighting with each other more than they're fighting with the zombies. And it's like, okay, well, if you want to survive, you actually have to work together. And if you don't learn that, then, well, you're all going to die or be zombies. And then, yeah, the twist at the end is the baby actually is, in fact, not vegan. It eats a rat because it hasn't eaten in so long. It just crawls out and eats a rat. And that's when the curtains close.
Nice. All of these zombie games have like classic horror movie endings.
Yeah, I love the horror genre, as I mentioned. All of my We Shall Not Be Naming the System games tend to be horror because I love it and it lends itself to my writing style a lot. So in that regard, yeah, I love a good twist. Even the games that I run, I like to take what people say and then sort of twist it in a way of like, well, what if it meant this instead? And so that comes up in a lot of what I create. But I've sent this adventure around. It's been nothing but positive reviews. In fact, one person said he hadn't played a zombie RPG since the 90s because he got tired of it, but this adventure made him want to play again because it was such a different take on zombies being so silly. One person said he was plagiarizing it wholesale for his own zombie adventures on a different system.
So I had actually kind of missed that this was an adventure. Can you tell us a little bit about the system that you use with it?
I actually use Jed's system.
All right.
Yeah. So Jed and I met, we both live in Manitoba. So we met through the Manitoba Game Designers. I had only been doing the evil RPG system content at that time. But I had been wanting to move away from that for quite a while. But the company I'm still working for them for now. but I host games for them. That's all they wanted to do, so I made Bardic Inspirations RPGs so that I could focus on other creative products and projects that weren't just in that system, that allowed me to have more creative freedom. I could go really silly. I don't have to be serious or dark. But also, if I want to be serious and dark, I can do that, and then it allows for a lot more creativity with different systems, because when you get stuck in one system, you're sort of bound by those rules. And as I'm happy to make up mechanics for that, sometimes that can be overly complicated for new time GMs.
Hamsta, you mentioned another adventure earlier. Are they part of the same story or one shots all over the place?
So the other adventures are for 5e. Those all actually do take place, the ones that I've majorly made, take place in the same setting, a Ravenloft setting that I created myself from scratch. So those are all in there, and they're all linked to each other but can be played separately. This one is completely different. It's in a completely different system. I've made something for Jed's other system, Nullum Projects, which is darker. It's not a comedy. It has been well received as well, but I was told that it reads a little too much like D&D, as opposed to the very lighthearted feeling just even reading this book gives you. As you know, you can't take this seriously. You can't take Zombies of the Corn seriously. Even writing it, I'm like, I can't write this in a serious way, because that would just detract from the whole thing.
Wait, is the ambition that the game, which shall not be named, is dark?
The adventures I run and I write are extremely dark. I've made players cry, and they still come back for more paying for it. Let's put it that way. Extremely dark, but they love it because it's a good time, and it's about the story, not the system. If that makes sense. Like, once we're done this, we're gonna move on to other systems. They don't care as long as we get to keep playing together.
I am intrigued because one of my complaints about that system is the fact that it keeps trying to do horror and does it so badly.
I have the reviews I got for those, actually, I just got a review back recently, were absolutely glowing, because it gave sort of like the nostalgic original Curse of Strahd, but done in a really dark, horrific way. I like to describe scenes when you go in. With one of the issues I had with it is like, okay, it described what the room looked like, but that's not setting the scene in the story when you open the room. So when someone opens a door or enters a building, I'm going to describe what they're seeing, but also how the air feels, how it smells, sort of how, like when you're reading a novel, it brings you into that scene. I want it to do that too in an RPG around the table setting.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, most good GMs should be able to do that type of thing, but
yeah, but not everyone, especially new GMs, can really get into that. And so I don't care if GMs use the writing. They don't have to. But if that's not their strong suit, then they at least have that available. When I write my adventures, I want to give all the tools available for the GM, so they don't have to do a bunch of prep. Because whenever I tried to run pre-made stuff, I was just like, well, I have to rewrite all of this anyways to make it work for me. So I'm like, here's all the tools you need. You can just go run it, and you don't have to worry about anything because everything's in there for you.
My recommendation for the evening. This is one of my favorites anyway, so the chat will be familiar with this. Shadow of the Demon Lord is basically a post-apocalyptic D&D. You might find it interesting.
It is a fantastic game.
All right, hold
Very
on.
Dark Souls.
Okay.
Yeah, very Dark Souls. Yeah. And now it's don't they have a follow up to it now? It's something of the Mad Mage.
Shadow of the Mad Mage. Yes.
So this was Shadow of the Demon Lord?
Shadow of the Weird Wizard. That's what it is.
Weird Wizard. That's it.
That is not a follow up though. It's the same system, but it's actually a totally different world.
Oh, okay.
Or totally different. Oh, is it a different world, or is it just it might be a chunk of the original world, but I think it's a totally different world. But it's the same system.
I think it's less horror based though.
Yeah, it's a slightly different genre-esque thing, but yeah,
I
I
love
have to say the highlight of this channel for a long time was when I got to interview Robert Schwab.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Schwab
No,
is Schwab is absolutely awesome. He is a
Yeah.
pleasure to hang out with.
yeah. No, my plan is to take that setting that I run in 5e and put it into Daggerheart because I run it fully RP. I'm constant because, like I said, I make everything myself, including the maps. I do personalized writing for scenes for all my players and everything too. So I'm constantly making stuff for this. So how they've set that up with the settings being stab blocks kind of works perfectly, and then other people can enjoy the setting without me necessarily having to, like, other people can run the setting. It is the main thing because I love the setting that I've created. It's got really cool twists and turns that no one ever seems to see coming except for one player who ruins all my surprises in one of my games every single
Oh, I
time.
have one of those. It happens to be my wife.
Yeah. Every single time she ruins it, but I love her to death because she is a lore junkie and loves when I lore dump on them. And I'm like, thank you. She's the note taker. But yeah.
Legata says, on the humorous side for dumber zombies, can you capture them and train them or keep them as pets or cattle so long as they are fed and won't turn on you?
So with these zombies, yes, that's the whole point. If you feed them their favorite food, they will, like, you befriend them. They'll work the farm for you and everything. So you guys can just yeah. So like, and they don't get tired.
Oh,
They're zombies. Uh, so yeah, like you keep them fed, they're happy to keep going.
And for
Yeah.
someone who wants that in movie form, there is a movie called Fido, which
I was
takes place
trying
in
to
the
find,
1950s. Yes, it's
yeah, I was
where
trying to
the
find the
zombie
name of
wars
that.
finished. Yeah, the zombie wars have finished, and everybody is just kind of keeping them as pets.
Yep. Um, yeah, I watched the movie for my
Yep.
zombie video, but then I couldn't
Yep.
remember the name just now. So, all right. Any other questions from the chat? For Byther and Jed kind of
Oh,
overlapped a little bit with the system and everything, but so I don't know if
oh,
there are
we do
questions.
have one that it came up in the Discord a few days ago, and I will bring it in here just to get a laugh out of everyone.
Sure.
One hopes that the conversation will deal with the possibility of the Walking Dead virus crossing the species barrier into Anthophila, leading to a plague of zombies.
ah, ah.
Yeah. I was just like, we will definitely have to bring that in. Because yeah.
Are they
Uh,
also vegans?
I mean, technically, yes.
I guess.
I mean, when you think about it, yes, they would technically be vegan.
Well,
And
there are vulture bees.
Those horrible things in the Amazon, yeah, those are.
I'm
Ew.
glad I live in Canada and I never have to think about those.
They make
We have to
meat
worry.
honey.
We have to worry about the mosquitoes because we got lots of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they make honey out of dead things.
Yes, it's disgusting.
They make
It's
honey out of meat.
Mhm.
How can you not be fascinated by this?
I
I
would like
don't.
to try it, but
As much as I
I
love
don't know.
horror, I hate bugs. So when I'm watching horror movies and there's inevitably bugs involved, I look away and same thing with spiders. Like, I'm arachnophobic, and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. Please tell me when it's over. And my friend who has things
Absolutely.
with my friend who has things with like eyeballs and stuff, she's like, let me know when that's over. They make zombie gladiators, training them to fight each other in a pit and arena. I mean,
Yes.
not the vegan ones. But
I mean,
Uh-huh.
they wouldn't eat each other. That doesn't mean you couldn't train them to fight.
oh, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess that's true because you can get them to help you fight in the combat if you make them friends enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, theoretically,
That
Do
will
they
be an
only
upcoming adventure.
yeah.
do they only eat corn? Can you plant other things?
Oh no, so there's like it's actually all described in there. Like, they've got soy and all kinds of vegetables, fruit trees. So grains is just happens to be the parents' favorite. They like grains. So, but yeah, there's lots of different things to feed the vegan zombies. And then if you want to take him out, Pop Pop has a stash in his shack of weapons that he hides from the evil daughter-in-law, hippie daughter-in-law.
There's okay, I'm about to age myself here, I think. Does anybody remember Bunnicula? Pedro's the only one.
I'm drawing
just-
a blank on that.
I'm just going to point out, I'm just going to mention now, I did not get the stereotypical childhood where I got to enjoy a lot of the stuff from the 80s and 90s, especially when it came to horror pop culture. So I'm just, if I don't get a reference, it's not because of that.
Bunnicula was a children's book told from the perspective of a house of the pets of a family, a cat and a dog. And the family finds a rabbit outside a theater after a showing of Dracula, and he has this his markings are have this little cape, and the cat becomes convinced that he's a vampire rabbit, and there is a whole series of books
Boy.
about Bunnicula the vampire rabbit.
What drove me crazy was when we had our kids, I tried to find copies of that book and I could not find them anywhere.
The one I particularly remember is The Celery Stalks at Midnight, because the rabbit.
Okay, that rabbit, one I remember.
The rabbit.
That sounds super familiar now.
The rabbit sucked juice out of the vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The more you talk about it, I'm like, wait, I think this was in my school library.
Yes. Yeah.
But yes, it reminds me a little bit of that kind of, there was horror, but there was also a lot of humor. Even as a kid, you could get that the cat was completely nuts and was totally a conspiracy theorist about this rabbit.
No, it was funny as hell. It was brilliant, and I remember I read it when I was a kid, but then I bumped into it again when I was in high school, and when I was looking over the books, I appreciated the characters' humor a lot more. When you're a kid, it's cute. When you're a little bit of an adult, you're like, oh, okay, I know what this archetype is. So yeah, I remember it, and I wanted to get those books for my kids so bad, and a few other ones too. I was trying to find the Find Your Own Path ones. You remember those when you were kids?
Yeah. Choose Your Own Adventures. Yeah.
Now they're printing them again, but you couldn't find them for the longest time.
Yeah.
So on Thursdays at, I think it's 4:00 my time, there's a channel called Jack Tarlad, and he does single adventure and runs them through, online runs them through Choose Your Own Adventure things where they roll dice and everything. It's kind of neat to watch. Other friend of the channel, Grim, did a video recently about how he was trying to relearn how to read for fun because so much reading was part of his job. And he said, I started with the stories that I loved as a kid. And he said, I've been going back and rereading all of them. He did the whole Dark is Rising series and things like that. And I was like, oh, now I need to go back and do that. Watership Down is the only thing I read as a kid that I consistently go back and reread a lot. But I'm there are all these books that I read when I went back and I read the Tripods. Does anybody remember Tripods? The one where the aliens invade Earth and it takes place long after the aliens have basically conquered Earth completely.
I remember seeing them. I didn't read a lot of sci-fi. I was traumatized by watching the Alien movies way too early.
Yes.
Yeah, I was 7.
Yeah.
Way too early. And so, yeah, I remember seeing them and going, nope. I think my kids read some, though. I think my oldest did.
The interesting thing about Tripods is it's kind of Star Trek-y in that it's not really about the sci-fi. It just took a whole bunch of stuff about people and put it in a sci-fi way to try and make it interesting for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really cool. Anyway, we're kind of getting off onto
away from zombies and now aliens.
Well, I mean, aliens, vampires. They're all part of the same, pulp
Yeah.
horror,
Yeah.
pulp horror thing. So,
Yep, yep.
okay. I haven't seen any new questions come up recently. So,
Just more
Pedro,
puns.
yeah,
Which I love.
I mean, I suspect that will now be a pattern for the rest of the evening.
Yes.
It's a pun apocalypse.
Yeah.
All right, Pedro, tell us about Second Bite.
Okay, so Roddy Capes is the second edition actually of the original Roddy Capes, which came out like 10 years ago. We recently, it was like 2 years ago, that I pitched to that I wanted to revisit the system and redesign it from the ground up, because I found, so when I just came off the high that our game was game of the year at Origins the year before. So when I designed Rotted Capes, I just designed a system that I thought was fantastic, and it had a lot of errors, and not errors, issues. So I interviewed a bunch of our players. They told me a bunch of pain points in the system, and I redesigned the system from the ground up. If you know the game that shall not be named, it feels familiar, but it's not that game. It uses a basic mechanic of a roll d20, add modifiers at a target number. After that, it plays very differently. It really leads into narrative mechanics, which the game that should not be played doesn't do. It has a fate point mechanic called dice plot points that you could modify the scene during play, and the way you get them is by leaning into your personal character flaws, because all heroes have flaws. And a lot of people, like, when they first think about Roddy Capes, they think it's like a power fantasy of superheroes just beating up zombies. It's not. It's a horror game where even though you're powerful, you're never comfortable. The mechanics are there to, you feel like a superhero, but there's certain mechanics in the game that quickly remind you that you are against overwhelming odds. A lot of the mechanics are like very narrative friendly. Like, I got rid of skills, and instead you have something called a skill set that you write a sentence that describes your character's skill set. Like, the best way to describe it is the kind of chaos that your character is really good at. And anytime you could justify using it, you get your skill bonus. Simple. But the game itself is a horror superhero game that can sometimes be very campy, and sometimes can be very horrific, and sometimes can play very survival. It all depends on the table and the story that they want to tell. Of all the playtesters I've had, I have one group that plays super slapstick, and they're playing superheroes from the golden age of comics. So they're playing, I think their zombie apocalypse started in like the 60s. The playtest script that I'm currently running, which I'm streaming on my channel Tuesday nights, they're down in the Keys and the Florida Keys, and their game is straight up horrific, and it has aspects of like eldritch horror, classic slasher film horror, and a little taste of like Resident Evil horror thrown in. So the game itself is very open-ended in the type of stories you can tell with the system. For example, like, you could play characters from almost any kind of superhero archetype. You could play like a skill-based, a demigod, a superhero, a tech guy, whatever floats your boat. But the way that I wrote the world and the game system itself, it's constantly pushing against you. You're never going to be like, oh, I could take everything out. sooner or later, if you push too hard, it's deadly. It's very deadly. Yeah, it's deadly. If you're dumb, because I always and back then when we wrote Arcanus way back, our old saying was stupidity leads to character creation, which is kind of like a theme I have in all my games. If you're stupid, you'll die. So the game kind of has that in as well. Huh?
This is my kind of game. I always say
Yeah.
I never kill characters, but I will not stop characters from killing themselves.
Yeah, if you want to be dumb, I'll warn you. I'll tell you in the story, in the setup text and everything. This isn't a bad idea. This is a bad idea. You want to go in? I'm not going to stop you. And I like rewarding really smart play. So, like, if the players are really clever, I let them have that win. Because I like the one thing I love about our hobby, this gaming hobby, it doesn't have the guardrails that board games and video games have. You can think outside the box. You could be creative. You could tell stories that maybe start going down this path, but slowly go down that path. It's the one thing that made me fall in love with the hobby. And yeah, it's one of the, when you read Rotted Capes, it's like a toolbox. We give you a little bit of a setting, but really, I kind of think that people are going to pick up this game and play it in their home city. Like I play it I'm running in the Keys because I kind of grew up in the Keys. So I know the Keys. But like everybody I know that's playing it, they're playing in their hometown. Like we have a group in New York, they're playing in New York. We have a group in Australia, they're playing in Australia. So that's kind of like that what we give you with the game. We give you a toolbox to tell your stories. And in Rotted Capes, you're not only dealing with zombies. You're dealing with zombies. You're dealing with super zombies, which are aliens or superhumans who have been bit. They keep all their powers, all their memories, but their moral compass is completely gone. And also you deal with abominations, which is kind of a catch-all in the system that really lets you like create things out of Resident Evil, anything like that, and throw it at the players. Like I have a few in the book, and like one of the favorites that I wrote, there's a abomination named Silver Khan. He is a silverback ape that got bit, but he had a recessive alpha gene, so instead of just dying, because animals normally don't get infected, he turned into an 18-foot tall super ape, and he protects like this one zoo. And he creates his pod. He takes care of his pod and the animals in the zoo. He also speaks in sign, so if one of your heroes knows sign language, you can actually communicate with them. That's to give you an idea of the type of stuff you could do in the game. The character creation system is so flexible. I just ran a game on Nerds with Dice. Somebody actually made a super dog. They made an emotional support dog with empathy, telepathy, and emotion control. I never thought you could do that with the system until she did it, and I was like, wow, okay. So
what exactly makes an abomination?
So the abomination, when I wrote the description for it, right? Normally, it's any creature that's bitten and has a recessive gene, a recessive alpha gene, which is our explanation for superhumans. They mutate. They don't turn into a zombie. But also, abominations is a catch-all for demons, eldritch horror monsters you want to throw in. An example I threw in there was an alien carnivorous plant that showed up on Earth right before the heroes are able to take care of it because of the zombie apocalypse. So it's still here, and it's still eating people. So stat-wise, the Abomination lets you create almost anything that's in your head. But story-wise, Abominations are creatures that were infected, but the infection mutated them into unique ways. One of them is the Butcher of Paradigm City, who's like a 8-foot tall, pale skinned, very thin human who carries along this large cleaver that looks like it was suddenly beaten out of corridors and welded together. And it actually eats zombies and people. Don't think you're safe.
It is not vegan.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the stories, I don't know if it made it into the main book. I think it did. So we talk about enclaves all over the world. In France, the humans are hiding in the catacombs because the vampires came out to the humans and said, look, guys, if everybody turns into a zombie, we kind of starve. So we have a deal. We'll protect you as long as we get to feed every once in a while. So the heroes are the vampires.
I mean, rather self-serving heroes, but it's an interesting take anyway.
Yeah, and if you're a human, you what choices do you have? They're like, and another thing about the rotting capes is zombies and monsters are not really your only real threat. A lot of the times, it's other enclaves that want what you have, or sometimes you'll have an enclave that's led by a supervillain.
Well, I was going
And
to
that's
ask. I was going to ask. I assume that if there were superheroes, there were supervillains. Is there
Yep.
now a truce? Is there now a truce on the supervillain front since it's hard to take
Yes
over
and
the world?
no.
It's hard to take
Yes
over a
and
world
no.
that's already gone down.
Yeah, well, when you make a character, you can play a villain. You can play a character whose reputation was a villain. So, like, when you go up to another enclave, even though right now you're fighting for humanity, the other enclave, if they know who you are, they're not going to trust you. Heck, your own friend, your own other heroes may not trust you. In the game I'm running on Tuesdays, one of the characters is an ex-hitman who specialized in taking down superheroes. And his skill set, brilliant. His skill set is cape hunter.
You really can do a lot with this game.
Yeah, it's so much because the way I did skill sets, right? Like your skill set is not only your skill set, but it becomes kind of a description of your background. I have another character who is a alien who's been alive on Earth for a long time. Her skill set, she has 2 skill sets, but her first one is I've seen empires rise and fall. So she gets to roll history checks. She gets to think, have I ever seen anything like this before? It opens up so much cool role playing. And the cool thing is that sometimes she'll mention, oh yeah, I remember I had a conversation with Queen Victoria about this. It's awesome. The role playing you could do with it. But yeah, the game is really it's kind of open-ended and lets you do a lot of really cool stuff with your character and in the stories that you tell with the game. The more and more I run it, the more and more I start seeing the possibilities of it. Like the game I'm running, the one in the Keys, I've been hinting at this there's this thing in the Keys called the Hush, that every month everything in the Keys goes dead silent. There's not even bugs. The water goes perfectly still. And they're starting to realize what what's making that happen. And it's very, very eldritch horror. Like, I had an entire episode that one of the players told me it felt like it was right out of a Cthulhu adventure, which for me was a heck of a compliment. I was like, "Oh, thank you." So yeah, you can tell some great stories with the game. It's not just zombies, but zombies are the major antagonist and the okay. So side tangent. I remember I was talking to a writer of he wrote a novel, a zombie novel, and he kind of changed my mindset on zombies. He said that zombies are a placeholder for any natural disaster that forces people to work together.
Mm,
In a story, it's a natural disaster. You can't do anything about it. You have to survive it.
yeah,
It's
I guess I can kind of see that. It's
yeah,
one of the reasons.
it's nature. Well, it's the world working against you. So that's kind of like how I see it now when I run it. Um, a lot of the times I'll throw like a few zombies at people. But I've realized that zombies aren't really the scariest ones. The super zombies are freaking terrifying. But like the group just bumped into an island full of cannibals.
So it's not. It doesn't just automatically go back to the story thing of like, um, humanity is really worse than the zombies, which is what tends to happen in a lot of zombie movies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is. It does happen. Except that like when you play it, your enclave, your survivors are kind of like your little oasis in the world. One of the parts of character creation is at the end, every player makes 2 NPCs. I call them supporting cast that are connected to the hero. So if you have a table of 6 players, you now have 12 NPCs that people care about.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. So by doing that, you just created your little enclave of survivors. Yeah, as the editor, that's what we call the storyteller, the GM. The editor in chief throws in a few more, but it's so much. It helps me tell so much of a better story when you come at me with, oh yeah, one of my survivors is my ex-husband who is an ex-politician and we can't stand each other, and it just gives me like so much ammunition to tell cool stories. And I that's what I try to do in the game. It just give you ammunition to tell these stories. So and the game has these 2 elements to it. You have your enclave stories, which is more like your role-playing stories, and then you're leaving the enclave and be doing your hero stuff. And sometimes they clash, but it's almost like 2 games sometimes.
It's interesting though, because one of my complaints about a lot of modern games and modern editions is that too frequently NPCs just become like video game quest givers. They don't actually matter to the story other
Yep,
than they show up, they get what they need from the NPC, and then they forgot about them.
exactly. Yeah, that
Um,
I did. I don't. I felt that is capes. The NPCs needed to be more important than that.
mhm.
Because the part of the story is that enclaves are looking at these heroes as the light in the darkness, as you're our hope. You're the reason why we're surviving. You give us hope to keep pushing. A lot of the reason why heroes still wear their costumes is because it's a rallying point. It's like Captain America walking around with his shield and stuff. There's another darker reason why they wear their costumes. So when you get bit, for some reason, if you burn the wound, it gives you a better chance of fighting off the infection. So a lot of these heroes still wear their costumes to hide all the burn marks.
That is gorgeously dark. I have to admit, I loathe superhero games.
Indeed.
But I'm really fascinated by this because it's almost more of a horror game than it is a superhero game.
Yeah.
Um,
Just you know when I said that heroes are never comfortable? There's a mechanic in the game called burnout. All right. Any power which kind of lets you stay out of combat or do things at a distance or really manipulate the environment has a burnout value. If you push yourself too hard, your powers burn out for the remainder of the scene.
ooh.
Yeah, and I've had players in pure desperation to get everybody out of a situation burn out on purpose. And that type of a story is awesome. Where it's like, I know I'm gonna burn out, but we have to get out of this mess. It's great. But it really grounds the heroes.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you basically meant that they like became suicidal on purpose because they were so stressed out about trying to like be the hero
Well,
all the
hold
time.
on. So if you die, and I took this from Daggerheart. Thank you for the idea, guys. If you die, you can die, or you can decide to go to Blaze of Glory. And if you go out to the Blaze of Glory, you have this one moment where you're just freaking epic, but you're not surviving.
Hmm.
So it encourages, like I used to run a lot of comics, and one of the comics that broke my heart was when a Human Torch sacrificed himself to save the rest of the Fantastic Four. It totally, that entire story after with everybody dealing with his death and stuff, just really like, it really impressed me. But turned out coming soon, PCX Xbox. I like that. Yeah, like it's a superhero game, but it's not a I'm invincible superhero game.
Hmm.
Yeah, like one of the mechanics in the game is if there's 5 or more zombies in an area. Areas could be like a room, like the way I kind of created areas to be a little bit more abstract, easier storytelling when not using a map. An area is a room, a hallway, another room. So if you want to move through areas, like move to a bedroom, lobby, bedroom, hallway, living room, just to give you an idea. If more than 5 zombies or more in a room, they become a horde. Hordes don't attack separately; they attack at once, and they do exponentially more damage. Which is why our superheroes were literally just dragged down by hordes of zombies. We have our version of Superman. His name is Titan. And yeah, he got Z'd because literally a horde of normal zombies just dragged him down. So you're never safe. You think one zombie is easy to kill, 20, not so much. 30, and run.
Um, there is a French game called Night. Are you familiar with it at all?
No.
I Oop, did I hear a yes in the background?
No, that was my wife calling my dog.
Oh, okay. Um, the reason I ask is that Night has there are two totally different kinds of combat in Night. One is when you face individual um basically bosses, and the other is when you face hordes. And it has kind of the same.
Yeah, yeah. I think that sounds so familiar. I think maybe I've seen it.
It's an awesome game. It's very hard to get in this country. I think most of our
Oh, it
family's from
sounds
Canada.
familiar. But yeah, because I always had that image of, and I want to get a piece of art of it, by the way. I want to get a piece of art of a hero trying to fly out, and all these zombies just grabbing him and pulling him down. It's just I have this piece of I wish I could draw to save my life. But yeah, that's the thing I wanted to do with the zombies, because zombies aren't scary when there's one of them. They're easy to kill. They're really scary when there's a whole lot of them.
I always felt like Shaun of the Dead made zombies not really scary at all to most people.
Fair enough. But like one movie I liked that really showed how multiple zombies are scary. Oh my god. Oh, the one that had the joke about cardio.
Oh, Zombieland. We were talking about that.
Zombieland.
We were talking about that earlier, and I also could not remember what it was called.
Oh, my wife just said it. My wife just said another movie that showed you that. Even though it wasn't like the book, the zombies were scary as hell. World War Z.
Yeah.
Because they were just okay. So in Ronnie Capes, a little thing we did with the story. So zombies that have been around for a while are slow and creepy, right? But if they're freshly made zombies or they freshly eaten, they become fast zombies, like World War Z. Which adds a little bit of horror if you're going into a location.
Or 28 days later, which did it first.
Or 28 days. Oh, yeah, 28 days later. But the thing is, like, it adds some horror to it because, like, I've done something where the heroes were going into an area and suddenly all these fast zombies are coming at them. And they just realize that they got there too late to save them.
It throws in an extra thing, too, because you have no way of knowing whether or not zombies have eaten recently, so you don't know whether or not you're facing slow or fast zombies based on.
Correct. Yeah. So, and that's another little thing to it. We also have, by the way, weird zombies. Like one of the stories in the game is that there was a supervillain who was trying to save the world, and he thought he could grab a bunch of zombies and just shift them off to another dimension. Well, he didn't, and he created zombies that can phase through walls. So we have weird zombies running around like that. We have another zombie that we call a copycat, which it got inspired by these stories I read of skinwalkers in the Appalachians. Mm-hmm. They hide among other zombies and they call out like if they're a survivor, and they're actually like a creepy smart zombie that uses other zombies to, hunt down targets for them. So you can tell some really creepy stories.
The real question is, if a superhero turns into a zombie, does the superhero keep all of his powers as a zombie?
Yes, if they're a superhuman or if they're an alien, they keep... Oh, no, I'm sorry. If they're a demigod or if they're a superhuman, they keep all their powers.
Yeah, he said earlier they keep their memories, too. So they
keep all their memories. And so one of the things that saves humanity is that super zombies are very, very territorial. And they normally do not like being around each other. They'll attack each other on sight because they're all alpha predators, and they, it's like Florida Panthers when another panther comes into their territory. But every once in a while, there are super zombies that are okay being around each other. We have one story of a group called the Dartan family, which are kind of like our Fantastic Four. Well, yeah, they like being around each other, and they're still looking for their lost member who escaped, because they don't want to kill her, they just want to bring her home.
All I can think of when you're talking about, panthers don't like other panthers in their territory, I'm like, except during mating season.
Oh, yeah, during mating season, that's all. Yeah, but the funny thing is, after they mate, they can't stand to be around each other again. So it's like, get out of my house. I'm done with you.
Is there a zombie mating season? This could just get really weird.
That could be very strange very fast.
This is really kind of an interesting idea. This is, I have to say, reading your description, that was not, it was not how I thought this game would run. I thought it was the Marvel What If episode that had the
Like
superheroes.
Marvel Zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. That
well,
was kind of what I envisioned.
I know, I get that like all the time, because the one thing that drives me crazy about the Marvel Zombies movies, shows, they're fun as hell to watch. Do not get me wrong. They're great power fantasy to watch. But if you watch them and you notice something, there's not one normal human. They're all gone. They all got either Z'd, or we don't know what happened to them. But Lot of Capes is about those normal humans. They're integral to the story. Sometimes they're the bad guys. Sometimes they're the good guys. Sometimes it's just another group that you're going to go trade with. And everybody wants something. But yeah, the game isn't the power fantasy of Marvel Zombies or DC's version Deceased. It's a lot more of a grounded. Okay, it's more like if you grabbed The Walking Dead and then you threw in the Bat Family. Not Batman, the Bat Family. And you let them go. That's what you're playing.
Legata says, for the whole panel, is it easy to move your zombies to another era or setting? Zombies in ancient Rome, Egypt, Aztecs, terraform Mars, etc.
Yeah, like I told you, we have a group that's playing in the 60s. And I could easily see Roddy Capes being played during like the King Arthur idea. You could easily do that. You would just build your knights like skill-based superheroes, because that's what they would be. They would be freaking superheroes. Some of them would actually have powers, like the Knight of the Green would probably have 1 or 2 powers here and there. So yeah, you could definitely do that.
Yeah, mine definitely supports that. Like, Curse of Neferkhetet takes place during Prohibition. I've been
Nice.
running an Old West adventure. So spoiler for upcoming thing when I eventually get around to writing it. I have a adventure I'm going to be doing. It's called Edo Before Dawn. It is going to take place in feudal Japan, where
That's awesome.
it takes several months after the apocalypse was started. Everyone is members of a ninja clan. They have information has told them that the shogun is a smart zombie that's controlling the horde, so they are sent on a suicide mission into Edo to take him out. And it will be paired up with a sister adventure called Edo After Dusk, which is the exact same adventure told from the zombies' perspective, and it'll use the zombie rules.
Nice. I like
Other
it.
things like the rise of Rome, that just explains the fall of Rome, was because the zombies rose up.
That's cool.
I have plans for one that's going to take place in the middle of the 14th century, right around the time that the bubonic plague popped up.
There is a game called Whitechester, which is basically, it is an accurate history, like using as many like actual outlines of it's spelled white like ghosts. But
Okay.
it's
Okay.
the actual city of Whitechester during the bubonic plague, and basically the zombie uprising happens and they basically throw everyone into the city, and you're one of the last unturned, uninfected
Okay.
That sounds
people,
creepy as hell.
and you have to get out of the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those historical things, especially they're accurate.
Yeah.
They put some
Yeah,
work.
those are a lot of fun. That's why, like, for mine, I made it pretty ambiguous, but obviously based off of pop-up. It has to be after a certain time period. But I think the next time I do zombies, just because I just started doing it, I did plant zombies. So in this one, it's called Plants and Zombies, the third part. But I just made they were children, actually, obviously, to make it creepier. Children plant zombies. But I've done it a couple of times where, like, a parasitic plant turns humans into zombies. That's also a plant. And so I think that would be sort of fun, where it's like you think you've escaped all the zombies, but the trees themselves are also zombies, and anyone who's died in the forest will rise up as a zombie. And so like just imagine like anywhere like in the Black Forest. Oh, that'd be so good in the Black Forest. I need a pen. Black
There's oh my god, I just remembered there's a novella that I wish I could remember the name of, where it was kind of a zombie apocalypse story. But the thing that made everybody zombies was the corn, because the corn was controlling humans to put fructose corn syrup into everything, and over time turned everybody into zombies.
Wait, I thought this was a game.
No, this is a novella. It's a novella, and I can't remember. Like, one of the scenes in it that really got to me was that one of the corn stalks fell down because somebody stepped on it, and all the like 3 farmers were just staring at it. And this guy saw it and he thought it was creepy before he realized what was going on. It's just, I can't remember the name of it. Now I have to find it. God, it was I can't remember the name of the people that did it. Damn, this sucks. Because I would send it to you right now.
I was thinking it seemed entirely too realistic.
I was about to say, I think we're getting a history lesson here with how much corn syrup is in everything.
Yeah, it's in everything. But God, damn it, I can't remember the name of it now. I remember I read it and it was
Eraser, can you do more than links tonight?
Oh, wait a minute. Somebody was asking a question about, yes, you could do a one-shot with Rotted Capes, or you could run a campaign. Right, I ran a one-shot for Nerds with Dice, which was just 3 sessions. But for the one I'm running on Tuesdays, I think we're on session 13, and I have enough story for another. I think each season is going to be 20-ish episodes. I already have enough story for 2 more seasons if we want to go that far. So you could tell giant campaigns, and the system supports it. You can make characters. You can build like really low level, like basically survivor. Hi, I have a gun. Survivors. The system supports it, but it kind of loses its umph. But you can make heroes all the way up to ultra level heroes. You can make Superman type. But I even say in the game, if you really do this, you're not going to experience the game the way it should be played. But I want people to be able to tell the stories they want to tell. So if somebody wants to play the last 6 superheroes trying to save the world, and they have a great story of how they're going to fail, because they should fail, I give you the tools to tell that story. Go ahead. Have fun.
It does sound like you'd have to plan that kind of planned out ahead of time.
Oh, no, but like,
I
would love to tell a story where I'm like, okay, guys, you're not going to save the world, but you're going to make a difference. Do you still want to play this story?
Just tell them all blaze of glory. Just be like, everyone goes out in a blaze of glory. You'll have your epic finales, and there you go.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. So this is my baby Mocha. She's my pit bull, and every 30 minutes, if I don't remind her I love her, she comes up here to remind me that she loves me.
How dare you pay attention to something other than me?
She's an 89-pound lapdog.
I have a 125-pound lapdog, so
Oh my God, what do you have?
Judge is an Anatolian Shepherd Great Pyrenees cross.
How beautiful.
He was supposed to be our livestock guardian dog. He's so bad at it. he loves people. He could care less about animals, and he's afraid of everything. He's just a very funny baby. But
cool.
Have you? So you said that you've kind of gotten a lot of comparisons to the Marvel What If.
Yeah, when people first see it, it's the first thing they think. They go, "Oh yeah, Marvel zombies," all the time. That's the first thing that people say when they look at it.
The write-up kind of doesn't The write-up for it gives a good setting for the world, but I
Yeah.
think does not really dissuade people from how that actually works.
Well,
Um,
I in the um in the fast play rules, I rewrote the intro
mhm.
to give more of a feel for the game. We're also going to rewrite the little part in the back of the book to try to give that feeling. It all ties into the fact that you are not.
Uh-oh, we lost sound.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah,
yeah.
we can't hear you.
Your sound went kablooey.
That was my bad. I don't know what I pressed and I muted myself. That was weird.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, you're back.
I'll put my keyboard far away from my hands. So, because I'm Hispanic and I talk with my hands and maybe I hit something. So, I kind of always thought that when I described the fact that you were the B-listers and you're just trying to protect this enclave, that people would get it, but they don't. And so I need to be honest. I need to do a better job in the description in the back of the book of the pitch for it. But yeah, that's what the game is. Well, the thing is, but hold on, it's a toolkit. If you want to tell Marvel zombies, you can. It's just that there's
I mean,
there's
you could get sued, but don't stream
no,
it. You might
you
get
can
sued.
play
But
you could play our version. Yeah, you could get sued. But you can play. No, actually, they will not sue you for your own home game. They don't care. As long as you're not
As-
making money off it.
Yeah,
Have you
don't
met- have
monetize.
you-
Don't monetize the stream, but you can
have
stream it
you
all you
have you
want.
met Disney?
Exactly. Um,
They've
but,
been losing a lot though recently. I'm just gonna point that out.
actually, hold on. So to give some credit to Disney, I on the side I've been doing some work with Marvel, running their events for their Marvel role playing game because I'm good friends with some of the people on the staff, and they
I
have been
friends
very
on-
cool with people writing their own adventures and putting them out for free. Even using art from the book and from the comics, they've been super cool with that. Their role is as long as you're not making money off it, and you're just putting it out as you're giving credit to Marvel, saying, "Hey, all this art's Marvel, characters on Marvel. This is my story."
That's
They
the
are
Marvel
actually being really
comics,
cool
though,
about it.
right? That's the Marvel
Huh?
comics, not that's
Yeah, the
Marvel
movies
comic,
are like
not
the movies are
MCU. Yeah.
ninjas. Yeah. The movies are like blowtorch, poison needle, you drop dead. Yes. The comics are really cool, but the movies, you're right, they're like kabash. But yeah, if you want to tell that kind of a story in Erotic Capes, you can. You'll just not be playing into some of the cooler mechanics. And there's a lot of optional rules that can ramp up certain aspects of the game. Like I have psychosis rules as an optional rule if you really want to tell that kind of a story. I have some other rules that I call brutal continuity. If you think the game isn't deadly enough, you could bring in these optional rules and ramp up the deadliness even more. Go right ahead. So yeah, it's a toolkit for you to tell really good stories, but the real stories are there. It's about the hero, the NPCs, and the stories that you're telling with them, and you're trying to save them, and you're making deals with other enclaves. Like I think there was an entire storyline in the one I'm running on Tuesdays where they were running low on water, and there's another enclave known as the Barrelmen who completely set up their entire enclave just to collect water. And they figured out how to desalinate salt water. So they trade water with everyone. So you had to go over there and make a deal with them. And as they're dealing with you, they're all really quiet because sound carries over the water really well. And they're right next to Isla Morada, which is filled with zombies. So there was this entire creepiness to it where everybody's talking in whispers. And when the rain hits, it almost sounds like drums falling on all the tarps. And yeah, I had fun with that one. But Yeah, those are the type of stories you can tell.
That's very cool. I do want to wrap it up so everybody has a chance to kind of plug their stuff.
Mhm.
But thank you very much. These are all very different and all very interesting in their own way. And some unexpected turns that I thought I knew what we were going to be talking about. Um,
I
uh,
blame my ADHD for taking people down different paths. I'm sorry.
well, I was going to say I think the reason your blurb is probably a struggle is because it's so open world and there are so many options that would be really hard to summarize.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's because it's you could tell like we don't tell you why the zombie virus is a zombie virus. Internally, we have our own theory, but we leave that up to the game master to tell their story. If they want to make it magical, they can make it magical. If they want to make it biological, they could. It's up to the people that want to tell the story.
Nice. All right. Well, let's do our wrap up. Jed, if you want to tell people where they can find you, what you're up to, what you got coming out, if you're going to be at any conventions, doing any other interviews, spread the
Uh,
word.
all right, so you can find me at trapchest.com. There's a link to all my socials on there. You can purchase my games at composedreamgames.com, or if in the UK it's composedreamgames.co.uk. You will find me at every Manitoba convention. This weekend I'm at ToonCon in Saskatoon. Next weekend it is Winnipeg RPG Con. May long weekend I'll be at KeyCon in Winnipeg. Letho will actually be running a stage game for Zombies of the Corn, which I am going to be playing the Disruptive Junkie. I am looking forward to that. The weekend after that will be PrairieCon in Brandon, Manitoba, and in June we might be out in Edmonton for
GameCon.
GameCon. That's the one. I get so many. So upcoming stuff. Since 2019, I've been working on a game called Quest Nexus, which it is a universal system. So you can the idea is you can drop any adventure from any other system into it, and it just works. Much like
That's cool.
my other games, it follows my Savage Worlds-esque system setting theory of I want it to be as quick and easy as possible, so the entirety of the core rules fits on a 2-page spread. I've been working with Clear Arts from the Czech Republic to do the artwork for it for the last 2 and a bit years. She's been doing 172 pieces for it, so you just Google her at KLUR_arts. You'll find all of her socials and you can see what it looks like. And then, yeah, I've got a bunch of board games and other stuff. My work in progress folder is a massive, massive mess, but I'm getting there slowly but surely, and there will be more stuff for Reanimated coming.
Oh, I guess it's my turn. I'm big on the screen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will be at all the events that Jed mentioned. So except for ToonCon, I am not driving out to Saskatoon. I have other things I need to do this weekend. But yes, I'll be at Winnipeg RPG Con. I will not only be running games, including Zombies of the Corn, but I also host panels on professional GMing. That's my sort of my bread and butter. And so I'll be there. Then, yeah, for KeyCon, I'll be doing the zombie live play as well as running games there, hosting panels and whatnot. And then for PrairieCon, I will just simply be running games. At all these, we're selling all of our books. Zombies of the Corn you can get at Composed Streams as well. You can find the link from my website, bardicinspirationsrpgs.com. There's also links there to stores where you can get Skittering Minds. All of my other stuff is for the system that shall not be named, which can be found on Roll20 if any of you care, but only for a limited time. Those will be deactivated soon until they can be re-uploaded under Bardic Inspirations. But yeah, and then after that, yeah, we're hoping to be out at GameCon all summer. I'll be running games for local businesses, and we're hoping to live stream a live stage event We're not sure if we're going to be able to, but I do run stage events for Winnipeg Comic Con, and so we're hoping to live stream that this year, so that it's not just people who are making it down, but we're hoping to get some of the celebrities on stage to come play with us, which will be really, really cool. And then during all this, I'm hoping to get my setting out for Daggerheart. I do have some people asking me to make content for their systems, but I need to wait for them to give me their books so that I can do that. But yeah, that's pretty much me.
Just quickly, because I'm not familiar with all of these conventions, are they all in Canada?
Yes, they're all in Canada.
Yes.
All the ones next month, all 3 next month are in Manitoba. And GameCon's in Edmonton. Obviously, Winnipeg Comic Con is in Winnipeg in Canada. And yeah, I've got an insane month next month because even the weekend I don't have a convention, I'm running an event for a local brewery who have me running games for them.
Okay.
Yeah, we're hoping at some point we can get across the border. Jed and I work together a lot. We're part of the Manitoba game designers, so we help support each other, and yeah, it's a great group.
For both of you, by the way, I run an event at Origins game at Origins every year called The Gathering. If you want a hotel room and a badge to run your games, get a hold of me. I can help you out.
We
Where
will keep
is
that in
that?
mind.
Yeah, I need
Yeah,
to.
keep it in mind.
Origins is in Ohio, I think.
Columbus, Ohio. It is a fantastic convention. I run an event called The Gathering, where we run a bunch of different systems. And
Nice.
this year I started trying to get a bunch of indie games in. Like I want people who even just want to play test a game that they're working on, they could run it here. So reach out to me and I'll help you guys out.
Sounds good.
My goal in life is someday to, get that invite, so you guys should have it.
What do you mean? You want to come to Origins this year?
I tend to drag indie games all over New England when I can.
Fair enough.
But getting any further than that, the travel gets really the travel and the hotels get really cost prohibitive. So
Fair
Have
enough.
the Winnipeg convention in Toronto. I just saw that. We're hoping to actually be in Toronto 2027. So we're
Possibly.
planning to be traveling more outside of Manitoba across Canada in 27. Possibly across the border, but yeah.
Yeah, I have done the UK Games Expo and Essen Spiel in the past as an attendee, but I want to go back to them at some point.
Yeah, I'm
That
very
is
new
my-
to the industry, so I'm still learning. I started in the industry only 3 years ago, guys.
the
Or
UK
sorry, 4
Games
years ago.
Expo is like the thing on my bucket list I know I will never achieve.
It is so amazing. And if you go on my website, look through the blog, I actually did a full breakdown of exactly how much it cost me to go there.
So my grandfather was from England originally.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I do actually still have family that lives really near there.
Oh, very nice.
But the travel is difficult. But the
Yeah.
main issue is that I own a farm and trying to find
Oh,
someone
yes.
trying to find someone.
You're tied down. It's a farm.
Yeah, it's...
Well,
yeah.
actually, I'm not except in May, which is when the UK Gaming Expo happens.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's...
But yeah, my goal is to someday, when I got monetized, I was really excited. I don't really care about the monetization, but I do hope to someday get big enough that there are some great indie games out there that can't afford to go places and run games.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I hope someday to, have enough oomph that I can take other people's games and help them get noticed by a larger audience. So there's my goal.
Well,
in life.
that's
Yeah.
kind of the
And-
thing I'm trying to do with The Gathering. Like, if you have a local GM in Columbus, Ohio, who wants to run your game, and you want, just reach out to me. And I can't do it this year. They already closed registration. But
Yeah.
next year, I got you. I'll hook up your GM with a room and a badge and a table. I'll manage, setting people to his table. I'll make sure he has snacks, or she has snacks, or they have snacks. I'll take care of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is awesome how many conventions are now really starting to push indie games. It's wonderful. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
on that
it's a lot of fun.
note, where else are you going to be? What
Okay,
else are you
so
doing?
so you can find me at thestatmonkey.com. That's my personal website. It's my blog. It has my notes on my Roddy Capes campaign. I'm gonna do some updates to it soon. My company's website, www.paradigmconcepts.com, is currently down. We're completely refreshing the look. Well, actually, it might be up now for all I know. They started doing it this morning. So you can find me at smartmonkey.com. You can find my company, Paradigm Concepts, at paradigmconcepts.com. I stream on Twitch and on YouTube at Stat Monkey Presents. And you can find me on both. Tuesdays, I'm streaming. Not tomorrow. We're taking a day off tomorrow, but I'll be back next Tuesday. So conventions I'm going to be at. I'm going to be at Origins this year running The Gathering. We're running a stupid amount of games. I'm running games for Studio 2 Publishing. So we're going to have Savage Worlds. We're going to have Esper Genesis. We're going to have Fantasy Star. We're going to have Delta Green. The adventure this guy wrote for Delta Green is so creepy. I want to sit down and play it. I'm going to be running Roddy Capes. We're going to be running Arcanus. And we're running a bunch of events with the Marvel role-playing game also. And if you want to come by and you want to try Roddy Capes, I'll be running some events myself. And also have some other GMs running it. So I love running pickup games. Like, I'm infamous running Midnight Madness games at cons. So there we go. I will also be at Gen Con. I'm always at Gen Con. I've been going to Gen Con every year for the past 21 years. And I will also be at PAX Unplugged, which, if you haven't gone, it is a fantastic convention. It's probably it's up there on my top 3 favorites for sure. It's a blast. There's a convention that's going to be in Orlando in September, GameCon, that I will be at as well, and I'll be running games there. And that's what I'm doing this year as far as conventions. I might be able to make it out to Gamehole Con, but that's up in the air. I have a friend of mine that's offering to pay for my flight, and if he does, then I'm going. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel under traveled now.
If it makes you feel better, I don't even have a passport. I've never had one. So if I'm going to Origins next year and like going to like different countries, I'm like, I need to get a passport because I don't have one.
Yep.
I have one. I used it once. I've never used it again.
I'm the same thing. I have
It's
one.
long expired.
I got it once, and it was cool. This is way back during the 3.5 D&D days, when we came out with the Arcanus Codex, which is like our fantasy setting. A game store actually flew me to Gen Con UK to do a book signing. It was the coolest shit ever. And I missed Gen Con UK. That was a fun con. I went to it twice, and the people up there were awesome people.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am the Eclectic Goat. I am here, Facebook, Twitter. I'm recently on Substack. Like, so recently, I have trouble remembering the name of it. Instagram. Next week is going to be a little interesting. I am still planning on streaming, but I think it's going to be a little bit of an off your cuff, just kind of random ramble sort of stream. Week after that will be my birthday stream, so it will probably be ridiculously long. I had a couple of people in chat who asked me how I was feeling. I recently posted. I hate vague posting, but this is one of those things I don't really want to discuss in great detail until I have more details. I will say that last Friday I got bad news, but I also had blood work done. That means there's only one potential crisis and not two. So there's my good news for today. Once I've talked to my doctor, once we have things firmed up as to what's wrong, I will talk a little more about it. But everybody remember, fighting about whether or not modern Star Wars is real Star Wars gets real unimportant real fast when you get certain types of news. So
Yep.
everybody, talk about the things you love. Talk about the people you love. Talk about the pets you love and that love you back. I do not think that I am doing anything else this week. I did have a review yesterday, so I think that might change because I'm spontaneous that way. But I think that probably until next Monday that'll be it. Though if I get more bad news, I may have a day where I just kill demons for 8 hours straight rather than get anything productive done. So keep an eye out. If you are not already subscribed, please do so. I hope everyone liked the stream, both literally and the little thumbs up on YouTube. And we will see you all next week. Thank you very much to the panel and the chat for being here. And as always, happy headbutting.
It's a fucking good.
Eclectic Goat's got videos of indie authors and cinema love. A passion for the weird and the strange. She's snappily dressed and only slightly deranged. Come and meet the Eclectic Goat, lover of classics and whiskey notes, disciple of horror and the written word. Happy head hunting, come join the herd. Shows might be a little improper. We've got real zombie, fake whizzes the otter, pizza in one hoof, glass in the other, deciding which role-playing games we will cover. Come and meet the Eclectic Goat, lover of classics and whiskey notes, disciple of horror and the written word. Happy headbutting, come join the herd. Black and white screens, crappy horror with low budget scenes. Choose on the history, spits out the law. Time for another whiskey pour. Come and meet the Eclectic Goat, lover of classics and whiskey notes, disciple of horror and the written word. Happy headbutting, come join the herd.